Alright guys, this is LA and welcome back to LA The Shed. Today we got Guy Zensei. Yes sir. Alright man, take us back to your childhood. What type of person were you growing up?
So let's see.
School.
Middle school?
Yeah.
Started middle school. Middle school, I was bad as hell. Literally, I was bad. That was like my, demon child stage. Got into a lot of fights. Got suspended a lot in middle school. That's kind of where I started like stepping into my own as like a person and getting fight back from people around me, parents, communities, schools, people of authority. That's where like my fashion started. That's just where I kind of like came into my own, I would say, as a person.
Then where were you at this time?
I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yep.
And originally you're from Gary?
Yeah, originally from Gary, Indiana. Yep.
Did you have both parents?
So I have both parents. I had both parents in my life, but my father went to prison at a young age, so he was out of my life, or he was not present like physically in my life. Probably up until like the end of middle school, essentially. That's when he got out, and I started spending time with him and stuff and that. So.
Did him not having them kind of affect you early on in middle school, would you say?
Definitely, I think that anybody who does not have both parents in their life, biological parents, and it just affects you. It doesn't have to be like a negative thing or like a positive thing. It's just like that's a part of your life, and that's what created you. I don't like fault my father for anything. Everybody's their own person. Everybody goes through everything. My mom was a great mom. She hunkered down and did everything that she had to take care of me and give me like a great childhood. Had everything that I needed. Never went hungry. Always had the best things and the best opportunities. She put me in a neighborhood that was not a violent place. So I'm appreciative of all that.
Awesome, man. Mm-hmm. So what's up now? Let's say we're getting into high school. Mm-hmm. Did anything change at this point?
And getting into high school, I kind of like calmed down. Like the transition from like 8th grade to like freshman year, and I kind of calmed down. I was into football a lot at that time, so that was my focus, and that was like my like my goal and direction to like do something, or to not do something, to not do this other bullshit that I was doing. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
So approaching that like that way, my high school was pretty chill in that sense. I was pretty quiet throughout high school. I was always like a popular person, but I never got invited to like the big parties or anything like that. I was always like welcome, but I was kind of a little bit of an outcast, I would say.
Gotcha. So then, how would you define your fashion right now?
My fashion right now,
compared to then.
I would say that it hasn't changed. It's always been Guy Zensei. It's always been Steve's. I've always I just love fashion. I love this. I feel like that is the first form of like visual art, like on the planet. Of course, like there's like markings on on rocks or whatever, but that's like when somebody put on like a little flower skirt, like you killing it. That's just like the first. It shows who you are. It shows how you feel every day. You could just get so much from fashion, just from every walk of life. It's just a beautiful thing, I like to take all that and remix it and make it my own, or add things, take things, or just flat out, I'm this today. You know what I mean? So I love fashion.
That's awesome. So when did the other arts come to play in your life?
So I would say I really didn't get into the arts like well, I was in like band in middle or like I was in band in middle school and in high school. Played the saxophone, so that was like my introduction into like the music arts. But that is like a very construct, like boxed in way. But not until I got out of high school is when I really got into like music, even more fashion, painting, photography, videography, everything. And I got into that just like with the people that were around me, just my friends who all wanted to do it, and we just started doing it.
Oh, yeah. So then, let's say out of high school to now, what has changed and what have you been doing since then?
Out of high school to now, what has changed? I think what has changed is that my perspective and direction is like clear, and that happened between like it didn't happen right out of high school. It just happened, up until this time. But a few years after high school, I kind of like really decided that I want to do art, and whatever that is. I just want to create things, and I want to put that out into the world in a positive and impactful way. I know that the arts is at the forefront of every renaissance that there has ever been. Anybody, you can go back centuries, eons. It's always art that is pushing the positivity, the change, the growth in the community, in the world, and all around. And that's just, I want to do my part to be able to do that.
During those 3 years in between that you say you took to decide you wanted to be in the arts, what was going on in those 3 years?
A lot of shit was going on. I was in legal trouble. I didn't have places to go at times. I didn't have a home. I didn't have stable work environment. Just a lot of things looming over me. Just life happening. And this happens to everybody. This happens to anybody who is stepping out into life for the first time. I was falling, stumbling, and getting back up, but I just continued to do it with the focus of I want to create beautiful things and share that with the world in a positive way. And the universe provided for me so I can do everything that I needed to do. And even in my darkest moments or the lowest points in my life where I didn't have anything, I didn't have places to go, didn't have food to eat, so on and so forth, the universe still provided me to put me in that situation, to give me the perspective and to humble me, so that now when I'm here talking to AOA about this and it looks like this right now, I can be happy and I can be grateful that I can be here.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Seems like you're going through a lot during these years coming up to now.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit more into music. What was your earliest music experience?
So my earliest music experience, I would say my grandfather has a huge essentially music room, huge speakers,